There comes a moment in your life when you have to realize that your existence isn't a coincidence. You didn't just appear, you were placed. When you look back at everything you've survived, everything that tried to break you, everything that should have taken you out, but didn't, that alone should remind you that you're here for a reason. Your survival is evidence of intention, not chance. There are times when you've questioned why you were born into certain circumstances. Maybe you grew up in a rough environment. Maybe your family struggled. Maybe you started life at a disadvantage. But what you see as a disadvantage might actually be the foundation for what you're destined to become. Purpose often grows in places nobody expects. You may have felt overlooked or unseen, but that doesn't mean your life lacks direction. Sometimes your purpose is hidden until you're strong enough to handle it. You might not realize it now, but the challenges you've faced shaped a version of you capable of handling a future others couldn't carry. Every gift, every instinct, every passion inside you is intentional. Nothing about you was created randomly. Even the things you think are flaws may actually be unique strengths designed for a specific assignment that only you can fulfill. When you understand that your life is divinely designed, it changes how you see every challenge. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" Because every struggle is connected to something bigger. You're not walking through life aimlessly. You're walking through a plan that was written long before you took your first breath, and everything you've gone through is shaping you for what you're meant to become. Purpose rarely begins in comfort. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet came from the hardest circumstances. Your toughest seasons weren't punishments, they were training. When life pushes you to the edge, that's where you discover strength you didn't know you had. You didn't learn resilience when everything was easy. You learned it when life forced you to fight. Those moments when you had to push yourself just to get out of bed, those days when you cried and kept moving anyway, those are the moments that shaped your character. The hard places teach you discipline. They teach you patience. They teach you how to move when you're tired, how to hope when you feel empty, and how to trust when nothing makes sense. Purpose is built on the lessons you learned from surviving what should have broken you. The struggles you faced may have made you feel isolated. You may have wondered why people didn't show up for you the way you showed up for them. But sometimes separation is necessary. Some lessons you can only learn alone, and some strength is only built in solitude. When life hits you, it's not always to knock you down. Sometimes it's to wake you up. You start seeing life differently. You start prioritizing differently. You start moving differently. Hard seasons create clarity, and clarity leads to purpose. Every challenge you've endured has added another layer to who you are, and those layers are building the foundation you need to step fully into the purpose that's waiting for you. You might doubt yourself sometimes, but that doesn't change the truth. You were born equipped. You weren't created empty. You came into this world with gifts, talents, instincts, and abilities uniquely tailored for your purpose. Nothing about you is accidental. You may not see your strengths clearly yet because life has buried them under fear, insecurity, or past failures. But just because you haven't used them doesn't mean they aren't there. When pressure hits your life, that's when your gifts start to rise. The abilities inside you don't need anyone's permission to exist. You don't need validation from people who never saw your potential. The moment you stop waiting for others to approve your calling is the moment your life starts to shift. Sometimes you look at what others have and convince yourself you're not enough, but you don't need what they have to succeed. You need what's inside you. Your purpose isn't attached to someone else's blessing, it's attached to your own. When you understand that everything you need is already within you, you stop asking, "Am I capable?" and start asking, "How do I unlock what I already have?" That mindset shift alone can change everything in your life. You were designed with intention, equipped for the journey ahead, and built with potential that hasn't even surfaced yet, and your purpose is waiting on you to recognize what's already inside you. There will be seasons where nothing adds up. You prayed, you prepared, you worked, and instead of progressing, you feel like you've been pushed backward. That's the part of the plan nobody likes, the part that makes no sense. Purpose doesn't always follow logic. Sometimes the path to where you're going passes through places you never expected to walk through. Closed doors, missed opportunities, unexpected losses, they all play a role in shaping who you're becoming. You may not understand why certain things fell apart. You may not understand why some people left. You may not understand why something you wanted so badly didn't work out. But what feels like chaos to you is often alignment in disguise. Your confusion is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that something bigger is being arranged for you. Some plans only make sense when you look back and see how every moment contributed to your growth. When things don't go the way you expect, it's easy to question everything. But purpose isn't built on understanding, it's built on trust. You don't have to know how everything fits together to know that it will. The plan may not make sense right now, but one day you'll see how every strange turn, every unexpected shift, and every confusing moment was part of something greater unfolding in your life. You may be waiting on something right now, an opportunity, a breakthrough, a direction, a moment of clarity, and it feels like it's taking forever. But delay doesn't mean the answer is no. Delay means timing is being perfected. Sometimes you're ready for the blessing, but the blessing isn't ready for you yet. Other times, the blessing is ready, but you're not finished growing into the person who can carry it. Timing protects you as much as it elevates you. When you feel behind, remind yourself that everyone's journey moves at a different pace. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared for a moment that requires everything you're learning right now. It's easy to feel frustrated when it seems like people around you are leveling up while you're stuck in the same place. But you don't know what price they paid or what battles they fought. Your timeline is designed for your purpose. Sometimes delays come to redirect you. You might think you want something, but the denial you think you're experiencing is really protection. There are blessings disguised as closed doors, and you won't understand them until later. When your season arrives, you won't have to fight for position or force opportunities. They will align perfectly with the timing meant for your life. Faith is the fuel that activates your purpose. Without faith, you stay stuck. Without faith, you hesitate. Without faith, you talk yourself out of opportunities that were meant for you. Faith pushes you to move even when your circumstances tell you not to. Faith isn't about what you see, it's about what you believe. You can't always depend on what your eyes show you. Your reality may say you're not ready, you're not qualified, or you're not capable. But faith whispers a different story. There are moments in life when the only thing you have left is belief. Everything else is falling apart, but somewhere deep inside you, there's a conviction that things can still turn around. That conviction is what carries you into your purpose. Faith requires courage. It requires stepping into the unknown. It requires taking risks, letting go of control, and trusting that the path will appear after you take the first step. Faith never works if you're waiting for every detail to be clear first. When you start moving with faith, you begin attracting things that were waiting for your courage. Doors open. People appear. Opportunities rise. Faith unlocks connections you didn't know existed. Every time you choose faith over fear, you step deeper into the future that was designed for you, and your purpose becomes clearer with every step you take. There comes a moment when you can't keep carrying the older versions of yourself into the new seasons of your life. The habits, mindsets, fears, and insecurities that defined your past cannot guide your future. Growth requires release. Evolution requires shedding old identities that no longer match where you're heading. Some of the things you're holding on to feel familiar, but familiarity isn't the same as purpose. You might be attached to comfort, but comfort is the enemy of progress. Every time you grow, something in your life becomes too small for you. That's the sign that it's time to let it go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting who you were. It means upgrading who you are. It means choosing healing over hurt, confidence over doubt, discipline over excuses. It means stepping out of patterns you've outgrown and stepping into the version of yourself that's been waiting to come alive. Old relationships might not fit anymore. Old circles might not support your growth. Old environments might not match your new mindset. You can love people and still walk away from the versions of life that limit you. Elevation requires separation, and not everyone can go where you're going. You might fear becoming someone new because the old you is all you've known. But the new you is the one connected to your purpose. The new you is the one that carries your strength, your vision, your maturity. The new you is the version that can finally handle the life you've been praying for. When you release the outdated versions of yourself, you make room for the version that's aligned with your purpose, and that version is the one equipped for the future that's calling your name. The people in your life play a major role in your direction. You can have big dreams, but if your circle is filled with negativity, doubt, and small-minded thinking, it will slowly drain the belief out of you. Energy is contagious, and the wrong environment can suffocate the purpose inside you. You don't need people who minimize your vision. You don't need people who only show up when they need something. You don't need people who make you feel like aiming high is unrealistic. The wrong voices can delay your journey more than any obstacle life throws at you. You need people who push you, challenge you, and inspire you. You need people who see potential in you, even when you're struggling to see it in yourself. The right circle doesn't just support your growth. They expect it from you. Sometimes the biggest test of purpose is not the challenges you face, but the courage to distance yourself from people who don't align with your future. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being better than you used to be. And not everyone is meant to grow with you. Pay attention to who celebrates your wins and who gets uncomfortable when you rise. Pay attention to who speaks life into your dreams and who fills your mind with doubt. Your purpose is too important to be surrounded by people who don't believe in it. The moment you align your circle with your purpose, your momentum increases, your confidence rises, and your path becomes clearer because the right people amplify your growth instead of blocking it. Failure is not a dead end, it's a doorway. Every successful person has walked through mistakes, setbacks, and disappointments. You're not failing because you're unworthy. You're failing because you're trying, you're learning, and you're moving towards something bigger than your current experience. You learned some of your greatest lessons through failure. The relationships that didn't work taught you clarity. The jobs you lost taught you resilience. The opportunities you missed taught you discipline. Failure didn't stop your purpose, it shaped it. The world teaches you to fear failure, but failure is information. Failure shows you what needs to change. Failure reveals weaknesses that need strengthening. Failure exposes habits that need reforming. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, see it as a teacher. When you fail, you discover what you're made of. You learn whether you give up easily or whether you rise with determination. You learn how strong your faith is, how deep your desire is, and how much you truly want the life you're working toward. Failure helps build humility. It reminds you that success isn't automatic, it's earned. It reminds you that growth requires patience. It reminds you that purpose isn't achieved overnight, but developed through perseverance. Every failure you've experienced is shaping you, sharpening you, and preparing you for the season ahead, and the lessons you've learned are becoming the foundation for your future success. Fear shows up the moment purpose gets close. The more meaningful the opportunity, the more intimidating it feels. But fear is not a sign to back down, it's a sign to push forward. Fear often appears right before your life is about to change. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to move despite it. You can be scared and still take action. You can be nervous and still step forward. You can be uncertain and still trust that the path will make sense later. The moments you overcame fear in the past are the moments that elevated you. Think about how many times you were terrified to make a move, but once you did, everything in your life shifted. Fear tried to stop you, but you chose movement over paralysis. Fear exaggerates the worst-case scenario. It tries to convince you that failure is guaranteed. It tries to convince you that you'll embarrass yourself. But fear rarely tells the truth. Fear magnifies the negative and hides the possibility of something extraordinary. You don't have to feel ready to step into your purpose. You just have to be willing. Some of your greatest blessings will only appear after you take the step that scares you. Purpose requires boldness, not perfection. Every time you push past fear, you grow stronger, more confident, and more aligned with the life that was designed for you. And each brave step prepares you for the next level of your destiny. You don't need to force opportunities when you're operating in your gift. The world may not know your name yet, but your gift carries a signature that can't be ignored forever. Your gift opens doors that hustle alone can't open. People spend years chasing opportunities that were never meant for them. But when you lean into your gift, opportunities start chasing you. Your gift attracts the right rooms, the right people, and the right moments when you honor it with consistency. Your gift doesn't need to be flashy or loud to be powerful. Some of the most life-changing gifts are quiet, subtle, and often overlooked. But when you sharpen them, when you develop them, when you use them with purpose, they become unstoppable. The world is filled with people who ignored their gifts because they compared themselves to others. Comparison kills creativity. It makes you believe your gift isn't enough. But your gift was never supposed to look like anyone else's. When you start embracing your gift, your confidence grows. Your vision expands. Your purpose becomes clearer. You start seeing opportunities that were invisible before, and you begin to recognize the path that aligns with who you really are. Your gift is the key that unlocks your purpose, and when you allow it to shine, it guides you into the rooms designed for your destiny. Storms have a way of exposing who you truly are. They show your resilience, your endurance, your strength, and your ability to keep going even when life hits you hard. You don't learn who you are during calm seasons. You learn it when everything feels chaotic. Storms don't come to destroy you. They come to awaken you. They force you to tap into strength you didn't know you had. They push you to grow in ways you wouldn't have chosen but absolutely needed. They bring out the fighter in you. When you're in a storm, you don't always see the lesson right away. It feels overwhelming, heavy, and confusing. But once you make it through, you look back and realize how much stronger you've become because of it. Storms reveal the people who truly stand with you. Some people disappear when the winds get rough and their absence becomes a blessing. Others show up, support you, and prove their loyalty through action, not words. Storms also reveal your faith. When everything is falling apart, you learn whether you trust the process or panic in the pressure. Storms strengthen your belief, deepen your perspective, and prepare you for bigger responsibilities. Every storm you've endured has shaped the strength inside you, revealing dimensions of your character and preparing you for the purpose you were designed to carry. Comparison steals joy faster than anything else. When you compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, you start believing you're behind. But you're not behind. You're on a different path with different timing and a different assignment. You don't know what someone had to sacrifice to get where they are. You don't know their battles, their tears, their setbacks, or their private struggles. You're comparing your reality to their presentation, and that will always distort the truth. Your journey is tailor-made for you. Your lessons, your timing, your opportunities, they're all connected to your purpose. You can't compare something custom built to something mass-produced. Your life has a unique blueprint. Every time you look at someone else's lane, you slow down in your own. Comparison distracts you from the work you need to focus on. It drains your energy and blinds you to the blessings already happening in your life. When you start appreciating your journey, everything shifts. You notice the progress you've made. You see how far you've come. You start valuing your own growth instead of measuring it against someone else's. The moment you stop comparing your path, you reclaim your peace, your confidence, and your ability to move freely toward the purpose designed specifically for you. Talent can take you far, but consistency takes you further. Your gift may open the door, but your discipline determines whether you stay there. Purpose isn't fulfilled through occasional effort, it's fulfilled through daily commitment. Some days you're motivated, and some days you're exhausted. But consistency means showing up even when the excitement fades. It means doing the work when nobody is clapping, nobody is watching, and nobody is validating your efforts. Small steps compound over time. A little progress every day becomes massive progress over months and years. You may not see the results instantly, but consistency guarantees growth even when it feels slow. Excuses are the enemy of purpose. The moment you start settling for excuses instead of execution, your dreams begin to stall. Purpose requires structure. Purpose requires sacrifice. Purpose requires choosing what you want most over what you want now. Consistency builds confidence. Every time you show up, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted with your own goals. That trust becomes the foundation for bigger responsibilities and greater opportunities. When you master consistency, you unlock a level of potential inside you that discipline reveals, and that potential aligns you with the purpose you've been preparing for. You've survived moments that would have broken other people. You've endured pain you didn't see coming. You've held yourself together when your world felt like it was falling apart. You're far stronger than you give yourself credit for. Strength doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like wiping tears and moving forward anyway. Sometimes it looks like working on yourself quietly. Sometimes it looks like holding on when you feel like letting go. Life has tested you in ways you didn't ask for, but every test built something in you. It built resilience. It built courage. It built emotional maturity. You didn't just survive. Your survival equipped you for greater purpose. You may overlook your strength because you're used to carrying heavy things, but the fact that you made it this far is proof of an inner power you haven't fully acknowledged. Some people would crumble under the weight you carry daily. Strength grows in silence. It grows in moments nobody sees. It grows in your private battles, your quiet prayers, your late-night doubts, and your early morning determination. Strength is built long before it's recognized. Everything you've survived is shaping the version of you that's capable of stepping fully into your purpose, and that strength is becoming the foundation for the life you're growing into. You might think you're dreaming big, but the plan designed for your life is far bigger than anything you've imagined. Your vision is limited by what you've experienced, but the purpose written for you goes beyond your past, your pain, and your perspective. Sometimes you shrink your dreams because of what you've been through. You start thinking small because life forced you to survive instead of believe. But purpose doesn't shrink to fit your fears. Purpose expands to match your potential. The opportunities coming your way won't look like anything you've seen before. They won't match your previous experiences or your current expectations. They'll stretch you, challenge you, and elevate you into unfamiliar but necessary territory. You may think your greatest moments are behind you, but what's ahead is far greater. The breakthroughs, the connections, the blessings, the clarity, they're all aligning in ways you can't fully see yet. Purpose unfolds in stages, not all at once. When you start trusting that there's a plan far greater than your current understanding, you release the pressure to figure everything out. You start moving with confidence instead of anxiety. You start expecting good instead of fearing the worst. There is a purpose for your life that exceeds your imagination, and as you keep walking, growing, and trusting the process, you begin stepping into a future shaped by design and aligned with the greatness inside you